Well, hello. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm doing something that I think is really fun. I am co-hosting a baby shower tomorrow, and I have been asked to make chicken salad as well as make flower arrangements for the shower. So I wanted to bring you along and show you some simple and easy tips on how to make a delicious chicken salad and also how to put together a beautiful flower arrangement using fresh flowers and also things from your yard. Yes, you heard that right. We'll talk more about that later. Well, the chicken salad is something that is so traditional at baby showers. This baby shower is going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I said, do you think that that's a little bit too early to eat chicken salad? And the response was, no, it is never too early to eat chicken salad. One thing that you can count on when you come to a restaurant in Dothan, Alabama, they will have chicken salad and they will have sweet tea, and it's never too early for those two things. Well, I want to show you the way that I do the chicken. I think that you might like this. Now, I'm preparing for about 25 people, and I'm hoping that we're going to have some leftovers at the end that we can enjoy. And I do not boil my chicken. I actually roast my chicken, and I want to tell you why. First of all, flavor. There's nothing that beats the roasted bone-in chicken. You can't get that flavor any other way. And also, the skin on helps to keep it moist. You know, when you boil chicken for chicken dishes such as chicken salad, all of your flavor of the chicken is going to end up in your broth. Most of your professional chefs will use chicken to make chicken stock to use for recipes, and then they throw away the chicken because it's dry. Believe it or not, even though it's boiled in water, all of the moisture is coming out of the chicken and it's going into that broth. So this is a great way to keep that chicken moist and delicious and flavorful. And personally, I find it a lot easier to do. I would rather do this in the oven, cook it at 350 for 45 minutes to an hour tops, and I walk away from it rather than put it in a pot, wait for it to boil. You know all of that. Sometimes I do have a tendency to walk away and the pot boils over. I'm sure that never happened to you, but it happens to me quite often. I will say I'm a multitasker to the nth degree. So anyway, I'm trying to work on that. But this is a super easy, simple way to just do it and walk away from it. Now, what I did was I covered the chicken breast with olive oil to add a little bit more moisture and flavor, and then I put kosher salt on them, and I took my hand and I pressed down on the chicken. I wanted to break that chicken breast bone because that's going to help this to cook more evenly, and it also helps it cook faster. I cooked these in about 45 minutes. And don't look at my pan. This thing is probably 75 years old. I promise you, it is every bit that old. I was able to go into an old hospital that was about to be torn down, and they were getting rid of all of their kitchen items. And so I got these pans, and I've heard how old they are. I've scrubbed them and cleaned them, but I love them. I love the size and the depth that they are, and they're perfect for this kind of thing. Now, I also let that cool for about an hour. I don't want any heat as I'm mixing this up. And what I'm going to do is take off that skin and debone the breast, and I'm going to add it to my bowl here. And I'll tell you where the mixer comes in later. Let me get started on this chicken, and I'll be right back with you. Well, I've deboned my chicken, and I've shredded it into large pieces. For those 6 chicken breasts, it took me a little over 5 minutes to do that. It just came right off of the bone and was so easy to tear up. And look how much those 6 chicken breasts made. I spent a little over $10 for these. And I also added some of the drippings to my bowl because that's going to help this salad to stay moist without adding a ton of mayonnaise. I really try to use as little bit of mayonnaise as I can get away with, and I will still probably use about 2 cups. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put this on my mixer. Let me see if I can do this backwards. They make it look so easy on television. It's not. And I've got my paddle attachment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that and lift up my bowl, and then I am going to slowly mix this. And what this is going to do is shred up that chicken. And I'll show you how that looks. And let me show you this chicken. You know, the one that I'm actually giving the baby shower for is the one that taught me this trick, Whitney. She's on baby number 4, and this baby was a big surprise. Look at this. It shredded it up perfectly. It's already looking so good. And the drippings that I added, the chicken has absorbed this. So there's going to be so much flavor and so much moisture in this. Now, let me move my mixer aside and let's talk about ingredients. Now, as you know, I've got my mayonnaise and I'll add that, but I also have some pecans. And the pecans I'm leaving whole because as I stir these, they're going to break up. And I want people to be able to see and know that there's pecans there. Now, I could easily chop them up, but if someone doesn't like nuts in their chicken salad, I want them to be able to pull them out. And they're going to be easier to do if the nuts remain whole. Now what I did was I toasted these in the microwave. My mother taught me this trick. You just put them in the microwave at about 50% power and you cook them a minute at a time until they're toasted. So much easier than doing it in the oven. And I prefer the toasted nuts over a raw nut because it elevates the flavor and it gives the nut just a little bit better flavor and texture. So I'm going to add these in. These are some of our homegrown pecans. As a matter of fact, these are pecans that came off of Jimmy's mother's pecan tree. She would sit and shell pecans, and we were the beneficiary of those pecans. She would send them our way as long as we promised to make her something with them, which we often did. I'm not using the bottom because I'm a little afraid that there could be some shells in there. Now, I'm going to stir this up a little bit, and I'm about to add my mayonnaise. Now, I am going to use about a cup. Now, you might be asking, Kathy, why didn't you do all of this in your mixer? Well, one of the reasons why is because I want it to be pretty. And if I do this in the mixture, it's going to look like a big blob when I'm finished. So I want the nuts and everything else that I'm adding to stand out. So I want to stir it in as I go, and I want to keep that pretty texture. Now I'm eyeballing this, and I'm starting with about a cup. And I'm going to start adding my other ingredients and then I'll add more mayonnaise as I go. I don't care for just a real heavy mayonnaise taste. I want to taste everything in the salad. The mayonnaise is the glue that helps keep it all together, but if you add too much, then it becomes wet, and in my opinion, it's just not that good. See how this is looking? It looks really, really good. And as I add my other ingredients, I may add more. And see those pecans? I know most of the people that are coming to this baby shower, and there are no nut allergies. Now, I'm doing the same thing with these pickles. I don't like to use a pickle relish in my chicken salad because I feel if I do, then it almost melts into the salad and the whole thing tastes like pickles. And again, if somebody doesn't like pickles, I'm going to leave these large enough where they can actually pick it out if they want to. Now, these are not dill pickles. They're sweet pickles. I believe that they're called gherkins. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Somebody help me with that. And I've got 3 pickles here, and I'm just slicing them up. I cut them in quarters, and here are the slices. And that is going to look so pretty in this salad. I'm going to go ahead and cut up the rest of these, and then I'll talk about the other ingredients. All right, the pickles have been chopped and added, and as you can see, I've left them fairly large. And this is going to be a great bite, and it's also going to be pretty in the salad. Now, I'm not just stirring this up because, again, I want to add all of that pretty color, and I want everybody to see it. Now, another thing that I've done is I have taken some seedless grapes, both red and green grapes, and I quartered the red grapes because they were huge. And I'm adding that to my salad, and that is going to give it that little sweet taste that everybody loves in my family. And it's also going to add some beautiful color. And again, I'm just gently stirring that together. Now, chicken salad is really about what you like. Some put apples in their chicken salad, all kinds of fruit. I've had dates, all sorts of different things. There's just lots of great stuff out there that make a delicious chicken salad. But those grapes look so beautiful that I could not pass them up. And I also knew that they would add so much color. We're going to serve these on the croissant rolls, but we're also going to serve it just in the little lettuce cups. Now, last but not least, I have some dried cranberries. And these cranberries are sweet, and they're also a little tart. And they're going to give that delicious chewy texture to this. Now, they're dried now, but as they sit in the chicken a bit, they're going to plump right up. So I don't want to add too many. I've got about a half of a cup to this. If you want more, then add more. If you don't want any, you know what I'm going to say to that. Don't add any. Well, I think that that cup of mayonnaise did perfect. And again, one of the things that helped with that was adding those drippings. I think I'm going to get some muscle here. stirring this up. Maybe my husband will be home soon and I can put him to work. Aw. He loves chicken salad too. As long as I make it sweet, I think everybody is going to enjoy what I've added here. Now, let's see. Let me taste this and see if I got it right. Ooh, I have one of the nuts and the cranberries. I definitely got that right. That is so good. Another thing that you could do if you wanted to add just a little boost, my cousin does this often, is just add a little bit of honey to it, and that'll sweeten it up as well. But today, I'm just gonna leave it like this because we're serving it with a fruit salad cup. And so I don't want too much sweet on too much sweet. This is savory, but it has just a little pop and a hint of sweetness. And this is going to sit overnight. So all of these flavors are going to begin to meld together, and we'll taste even more of the grape and the pickle and the pecans. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Well, I'm going to get all of this cleaned up, and I am going to start on my flower arrangements, and I cannot wait to show you that. Flowers are one of my favorite things, and I never turn down a chance or an opportunity to make arrangements. So let me get this done, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Now I'm ready to get started on the flowers. As I said, I absolutely love making flower arrangements. If I could go back and start over career-wise, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, open a florist. My grandmother, my dad's mother, was a florist. I am so blessed that I had the most wonderful grandparents in the world. I had my mother's parents and my father's parents, and they were so good to me, and they influenced me on so many levels. And this is my grandmama Adams's influence in my life. As I said, she had a flower shop. It wasn't a retail shop, but she did weddings, she did many churches and funerals, and her shop was in the basement of their house. And I loved it when I got to go in there and smell all of the flowers. It was always cold in there because the flowers were in refrigerators. And she would start working on her arrangements. And before I knew it, there was a masterpiece that was created right before my eyes. And we would go and deliver them at the different churches because she would make the arrangements in front of the pulpits on Sundays. And that was such a treat for me. So let me show you just a few simple things that I do. These are for some of the table toppers. And I went to the craft store and I bought these little pails. And I would say that sometimes they're two for $1, but they were definitely not over $1 a piece. And then to them, I added these stickers to personalize it. As I said, Whitney is having a baby boy. This is number 4 for their family. And she is my cousin Tammy's daughter-in-law. So technically, she's my cousin-in-law once removed. And I absolutely love her. Tammy's kids grew up calling me Aunt Kathy. This says our little blessing, which this is definitely going to be. And it says snips and snails and puppy dog tails. And I added that, and they're the little clear stickers, and just personalized it and boosted it up a little bit. And I also got these. They're just little plaques that say it's a boy. And I took a plastic knife and I hot glued this to the plastic knife. And then to the back, I hot glued a few little baby's breath flowers so that you couldn't see that there's a knife stuck to this. And at the end, I'll just insert this into the pail and they're gonna make beautiful table toppers. Well, I was able to get a great deal on these roses. I went to the grocery store and they were buy one, get one free. So I got 2 dozen beautiful roses for $10.99. So that's all I spent on these flowers. And then I went out into my yard and I started getting greenery. My husband knows when we have our shrubs cut back not to cut them too low because I'm constantly taking little snips off of them to make flower arrangements. And he also knows that if he gives me flowers, which he often does, so many times he'll walk through the door and he'll have a bouquet of flowers, but he doesn't get the arranged kind. He knows that I love putting them together, and so he'll surprise me and he'll have an arrangement sent to the office or a special occasion, and he knows I love that too, but the joy for me is just arranging them. Well, I'm going to take my pail and I'm going to start with some of this greenery, and I'm going to pick off the ends of it, or the bottoms, because I don't want leaves in my water. And I'm not too worried at this point of how this looks. I'm just getting some fillers in here to hold up my roses. And since we're having a boy, I decided that I would use white roses because blue obviously is not a natural color and it just doesn't look right. So I thought this would add enough blue. Well, I've got enough in this to stabilize my roses. And I'm going to keep the greenery on the top of this because I like it. And I'm going to snip this. I'll go by trial and error of what size I want them to be. But it's very important when you're cutting flowers, and especially roses, that you cut on the buy like this. You don't want to cut straight because when you cut it at an angle, this helps the flower to absorb the water better. And I'm just going to take a few of these and start adding. Now I will cut that off. I may use it at the end, but if you have leaves down in the bottom with your water, it's going to contaminate your water and your flowers will die much more quickly. So you don't want leaves below the line here. These are looking so pretty. And I'm just going to keep cutting, and I'm going to keep arranging until I get exactly what I'm looking for. Now, I don't want these to be too high because they're going to be at the tables we'll be eating at. And one thing that is super important is you don't want anything that's going to interfere with your eye level. So you don't want big arrangements on the table because you can't see the person across from you. You know, you're dodging like, hey, over there. So you want something that's below eye level that you can look down on and enjoy and have the fragrance, but yet it's not obstructing your view and in your way. There's nothing worse than going to a dinner party and having this huge thing of flowers on the table and you can't see the people that you're eating with. All right. Now, one of the things that I have always been told is that odd numbers are easier to work with than even numbers. And that's not true. On this case, I've got 6, which is about perfect. And I'm going to take some of this baby's breath and I'm going to start adding it. Now this baby's breath can be kind of tricky sometimes because it likes to stick together. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to put this right here. Now it's amazing what this baby's breath will do to these flowers. They're going to make them so wispy and pretty and nice. Going to clip a few of these. Now baby's breath doesn't have to have a lot of water. As a matter of fact, they're just as pretty dried almost as they are fresh. So if you have to cut these and you just stick them around, it is okay. They will last several days without water. So that's a nice little tidbit of information to know, because a lot of times you just need fillers and you don't need it to go all the way to the bottom. And I've got my little clippers here. My grandmama Adams was so wonderful. My grandfather Adams too. And she was quite the hostess. She was known for hosting events. Actually, the Peanut Festival, which is a big deal here in Dothan, Alabama, was something that she was a regular part of. She hosted the tea for the pageant girls. She loved pageants. And actually, later on in life, after my grandfather had passed away, my grandmother sold a portion of their land to the National Peanut Festival. So annually, the Peanut Festival is held on land that we grew up on. My dad taught me how to drive on that land. It was a cow pasture way back in the day. And that just blessed her so much to have such a big part in the Peanut Festival, and she's still honored to this day. And it's just such a special thing around here. Dothan, Alabama, for many, many years, decades, was known as the peanut capital of the world. And we take peanuts very seriously around here. We have Miss Peanut pageants, and people come from all over to be a part of that. And actually, my bonus daughter was in that pageant, Christina, and Tammy's daughter, my cousin, Amanda, was actually Little Miss Peanut, and she was also Miss Peanut. She was the first one to ever earn the title of Little Miss and Big Miss. So, little family history there. Well, these are looking so pretty, and I am going to take more of this baby's breath and just add at the bottom. I've got lots of it. I have a big bouquet. Half of it's over there in my sink, well, probably more than half. And it was $2.99. So this is a great inexpensive filler. And I'll also use this at the shower to put in different little places and just add that little feminine touch that we're all looking for in baby showers. Now I'm continuing to go around the bottom. And as I said, I'm just putting this baby's breath. I'm going to clip that off there. And I'm adding this all around to the bottom. Perfect. Now, I may tweak these just a little bit, but you get the idea of how simple and inexpensive this can be. And then I can take my handy dandy knife. No one will ever know that a knife, a plastic knife, is glued to this. And I'll just put that on the top. Now, isn't that cute? If you were going to a florist and you were paying for this, this would at least be $25. And if it's custom, it may be more than that. But altogether, I'm making 3+ arrangements, start to finish, and I've got less than $20 in these arrangements. And I'm having so much fun putting them together. Let me look at that. Oh, that just looks as cute as it can be. Oh, babies are so much fun. Okay, let me get started on the others. Well, I finished with my arrangements and I got 3 beautiful full arrangements along with a little extra one. I looked in my cabinets and I found this mason jar and I just put the little stickers on it and I think it turned out so cute. I used 3 roses and a few little fillers, and what I'm doing is I'm going to use this as a topper. Now this silver platter is one that my grandmother Adams gave me, so I love this. It's a real treasure for me. And I took just an inexpensive cake server here and added to the top of it, and then voila, I've got something really pretty and special. Now I'm doing sandwiches with the chicken salad. So I've got these croissants and I'll fill them with the chicken salad and I'll put them all around as well as some on the top. And I've also got some lettuce cups, some of the delicious butter lettuce for those that are watching their carbs and just want the salad. So I'm done. I'm gonna put these arrangements in the refrigerator, and I'm making pizza for dinner tonight. I'm gonna start on that, and then we're kicking our heels up and sitting on the couch. Thanks for joining me today. I have had so much fun. I hope next time you go to the grocery store and you see some beautiful flowers that you will buy those for yourself and make an arrangement that you will enjoy, or make something for someone else today and be a blessing. You're definitely a blessing to me. Well, let me get started on dinner. See you soon.